What's good, everyone? Welcome back to Cleveland Sports Unfiltered. Recording this as the game literally just ended. The Cavaliers fall 104 to 126 to the Toronto Raptors in Game 3. And as expected, said in my last video, I thought that the Toronto Raptors. I'm sorry if I veer off. I'm also looking at the draft as it currently happens, but I said in my last video that the Toronto Raptors will come out, uber desperate not to go down 0-3. They will come out uber aggressive, hair on fire. They're gonna come out pressing, and everything I said in my last video, it came true. I told you that there are others outside of Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes. The others were going to step up, and they did. Jakob Porto, he had 8 points on 4-6. Walter, he went scoreless. R.J. Barrett, 33 points, 12 of 19, 6 of 8 of 3, and Murray Barnes, 22. Shed had 2. But RJ, Murray Boyles, and Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram and I'm sorry, what is his name? Battle? Yeah. Battle, they they got the best of us. And our others didn't play too bad. You have 5 from Dean, Jared with 8, Proctor dies garbage time. Shooter had 3. Keon scoreless. Sam had 3. Only took 2 shots. Like I said before in the last video, Sam is gonna need to be more aggressive than that, and you only come out and take 2 shots. But Jalen Tyson finally had a good game. 5 of 9, 3 of 6 of threes, 13 points. Max Strus, Max Strus had a typical Max Strus game, and I knew he would have a Max Strus type game again like that. Not the 24 points, but he had 15 points on 5 of 10, 4 of 8 from the three. But other than that, everybody else, Keon, he gave you nothing, and you didn't even attempt a shot in 15 minutes. But the Toronto Raptors did a good job of holding down home court. They came out the more desperate team, and the game was close the entire time. I was thinking, hey man, y'all coming out desperate, and the Cavs looking like they just coming out a little lackadaisical, and the game was still close. So I'm thinking, okay, the Cavs is in good shape, and then it got bad at the start of the fourth quarter. That's when the wheels fell off, and our big guns did not play particularly well today, especially Donovan. Hell, the top 2 guns did not play well at all today. In 33 minutes for both guys, played 33 minutes, same as Evan Mobley, 33 minutes. I'm gonna start with Evan. He was 4. He had 15 points on 4-13 shooting, 0-4 from 3. It, Jared Allen was efficient. 12 points, 26 minutes, 5 of 7. James Harden was not good. You know, 33 minutes, 18 points, 5 of 13, 3 of 10 from 3. And Donovan Mitchell, 33 minutes, 15 points, 7 of 16 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. Yeah, you cannot have that from the top guns. And I said that in the previous video. I said that this the only way that the Toronto Raptors can really win if they make Donovan and James really inefficient, which they did. Credit to them. They made Don and James' life real harder. They came out and punched us in the mouth. I said it, last video. If the Cavs can weather that storm, which they did, we will have a good chance. Which we did most of the game up until the start of the fourth quarter. Excuse me. That's when the game really got away from us. But the You need your top guns to play better than that, and particularly when you got decent contributions off the bench and Jalen Tyson and Max Struess. So, Donovan and James need to play a little bit better. But like I said, I expected this game to go as such. Wasn't expecting a blowout, but it wasn't like we got blowout from, bell to bell or whistle to whistle. It was we was close the entire game. Did it just got away from us in the fourth quarter. But, I didn't like all game the lack of you just constantly letting RJ Barrett just dare you shots, and that's a fucking bugaboo of mine that and an annoyance that I've been having from the Cavs is always, hey, I'm gonna just dare you to shoot it, and if you hot, you just hot. No, you can test that. They did a bad job of running guys off the 3-point line tonight, and like 3 of 5 from Scotty Barnes, 1 of 2 from Brandon Ingram, 6 of 8 from R.J. Barrett. What is his name? Battle. Battle was 4 of 4. Yeah, you can't have that if those guys are barely missing, especially the ones that had high volume. Like you just can't have that. And then for your top guns to 3 of 10 and 1 of 7, nah, that can't. The only people who shot good was Jalen and Max. The nobody in the starting lineup shot good from three. Dean Wade didn't. What he was 2 of 5 from three. No, he's 1 of 4 from three. But one of those shots was a desperation shot. So even 1 of 3, in my opinion, one of those was a last second, Hail Mary throw. It is what it is on that one. But technically, he's 1 of 4. But you need your top two guys to play better than that. Um, you just can't have the inefficiency and the lackadaisicalness and the staleness of the offense like it was tonight. But again, I'm gonna give props to Toronto. I'm not going to shit on their moment. I'm not going to say, oh, it was a fluke win or no. They came out the desperate team. They came down. They came out and refused to go down 3-0, which was predictable. Honestly, in my opinion, I thought the Cavs was going to drop one of these games on the road, and I really thought it was this one. In my opinion, I didn't give my opinion the last game. But I thought that this game will be the game we drop it, and you can tell like they really feel that like the Cavs really feel that the Raptors aren't on their levels, honestly, and you can tell by the way that the entire game went. And it's really true because again, up until the fourth quarter, the game was close. Like the entirety of the game was close. Up until the fourth quarter, it was like they barely got like 3-point leads. We was trade who had the lead, and all that good shit. But I think we'll be fine. James and Don have a bounce back game, and you continue to get contributions from a Jalen, a Max. You need Keon, Sam, and Dennis. You guys gotta make some shots, man, in order to make your minutes make sense. Dean is in. He's gonna give you what he gives you. He's timid to shoot the ball. He's gonna give you the defense, the rebounding, because I think he did. He did get a solid rebounding game. He had 5 rebounds. You just can't have nobody at under 10 rebounds though. Like nobody on the Cavaliers had over 10 rebounds, and you just can't have that. Looking at the Raptors, Scotty Barnes had 11. We all know he's not really a rebounder, but let me look at the team stats. Field goal percentage, they led us in field goal percentage. 57 points, 57.5, 44.4. They outshot us from three. They didn't actually. Wow. We took 45 threes. We got to go to the paint more, but I get the Cavs, you know, mantra is threes and layups and dunks. and they did a good job of forcing us to take bad contested threes. I do, yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and shit on their game at all. I'm not gonna sit out here and then say that it was a fluke win. No, I do still think the Cavs is gonna win in 5, maybe 6. They may get the next game Sunday, and then Cavs come back home, get that, and then finishing in Toronto and may go, that in 6. Or, I think the Cavs, if they can come out, retake, game 1, get a commanding, not game 1, Lord have mercy, game 4, get a commanding 3-1 lead, end it in 5 at home, and get ready for the next series. But we're not going to sit and count this series like it's over. Am I confident that the Cavs can win it? Absolutely. But I'm not going to sit and say it's going to be easy. But the Raptors, they shot 60.9% from 3. We shot 31.1. That's why we lost. At least that's why the blowout was bad. And we outshot them from the free throw line. Free throw percentage was better. The total rebounds was better. The offensive rebounds was better, but it was the 3-point percentage, and where's the turnovers? Turnovers. I knew it. The turnovers. I did watching it. I didn't keep track of the stats as I was watching it, but watching it just felt like I'm like, yeah, I know we're gonna have at least 20 turnovers or close to it. I thought we was gonna have close to 20 turnovers. No, we're exactly at 20 turnovers to their 11, and their points off of turnovers was 23 to our 8. They only outscored us by 4 on fast breaks, 9 to 5. Points in the paint, they outscored us by 20, 60 to 40. And they played a better overall game. They played a better overall game. They came out they came out the more desperate team. They came out the more hungrier team. They came out the more feistier team, and their role guys stepped up. Our role guys played better, and they stepped up too. But our big guns didn't step up, and their big guns and their role guys stepped up. So, you know, if it evens out, I think we wins that. If their guys are gonna play like that, and I don't think R.J. Barrett is gonna continue to be this hot. I may be wrong, and I may come back. Somebody may come back to this video, and that take age well. And I may eat my words and eat crow, but I do think that the Cavaliers can still win this series, but you gotta contain the 3, man. You gotta contain the 3 and stop turning the ball over. We were one of the teams that didn't commit too many turnovers in the regular season, so I'm not gonna sit and think that's a uber concerning thing. Like, oh, we turn the ball over so a lot, but no, contain the turnovers. You gotta give better contest on these 3-point shots. You cannot let these 3-point shooters just constantly make these open dare you shots. Now, I'm gonna give the Cavs credit. Some of the threes tonight they were making was tough, difficult threes, and it's a make or miss league. Those the ones, as fan bases, I'm pretty sure we can live with that. Hey, you contested it, they made it, you tip your cap to them, coach. Nothing I can do. It was great defense, better offense. But the ones where it's catching fake to you, and or you just stand there. Has been way too many times I watched James Harden stand there and let RJ take the open and nail an open 3. Nah, that we can't have. I get it, not picking on James or anything like that or being an asshole to James. Is who the fuck am I? I'm an idiot in a chair. But you know, we gotta contain the 3 better. We gotta get better closeout to the threes, and they cannot keep shooting this well from the 3 when this team was known for shooting poorly from the 3. Like the 14 of 45 that we went, they should have went that. The 14 of 23 that should have been us. That should have flipped. that should be flipped during this series because we're the technically better shooting team, but it's the playoffs. Guys step up, guys get hot, and you can't give guys like that type of thoughts that they can beat you. You gotta kill them and kill their spirit at all times, But maybe not everybody thinks the way we think or the way I think, but no, if I was that was me, I'm not. I want to end this in four, get as much time off because we know we're a better team. Let's be honest, we're a better team. Not shitting on Toronto. We're a better team. If they would have came, if the Cavaliers would have came out with a better effort, especially on the defensive end, we would have won this game and we could win this series. We could have won this series in a sweep, honestly, in just my opinion. But just my overconfidence in this team because you've seen them when they fully lock in. But gotta have better play from your top guns. But of course, Donovan was going to have a come to earth game. But I do expect 25 next game on mostly efficient shooting. I expect his three ball to go in, and James he'll bounce back. Let me see how many turnovers did James have, because him and Donovan is the primary ball handlers. So you would expect most of the turnovers came from them, which it did. 8 came from James. Only 3 came from Donovan. Dennis had 3. Evan had 2. Jared had 1. Max had 2. Yeah, and yeah, so gotta clean up those turnovers. You gotta contain the ball on the 3 point line. Yeah. But other than that, it's pretty all around, even match. Honestly, like I said earlier, the game really didn't get away until the, you know, first say within like the first 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. That's when the game, not even that, like the middle of the fourth quarter. That's when the game really got away from us. But we was close the entire time, which because not concerned me, but had me telling the Raptors, as like, hey man, y'all coming out balls to the wall, and I can tell they just, hey man, we just out here, going through the motions and all that good shit. So, but I think the next game they'll bounce back. I will have, you know, I will have a post draft video coming out right after the draft. I was debating on whether I should do a video per round or a just overall draft video, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just do the overall draft video from all 7 rounds, and I'll give my thoughts and opinions because I know the draft is going on right now, and fans on the internet is going crazy about the trade back, the who we got with both picks, and they're not who fans wanted at all. But I'll talk about that in the video, and once the draft in totality completes. But those are just my thoughts on the Cavaliers Game 3 loss to the Toronto Raptors. You guys let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Give me your game 4 predictions. Do we win? Do we take a commanding 3-1 lead? Or do we come back to the land tied 2-2? I think we take the 3-1. I think the Cavs bounce back. Maybe I think we win by 5. We win by 5, come back 3-1, and end it in Cleveland, But I don't want to jump ahead too far, but I do think we take game 4. So, again, let me know what y'all think about that in the comment section down below. And until next time, peace.